Uncle T here. Alright, car's coming up for its first service. Secondly, something cropped up on our visit to Ireland, which was I needed to change the display on the dash from miles per hour to kilometres, which I thought would have been simple because all I thought I had to do was just go into the R-Link and do it. Unfortunately, it wasn't quite like I planned. So Uncle T will now tell you how it's done, and I'll let him explain. Hello again. Right, well, what that youth doesn't seem to realise is that we are now a little bit further into the future, and this part of the video is going to be about changing the kilometres to miles and back again, etc. Anyhow, without further ado, I will carry on and show you how it's done. Right, well, first things first, it's most important that you don't touch the brake. Do not touch the brake. What you do is you hold this button down, and at the same time you switch on the car, keeping this one held down. Right, well, because it's very difficult to do that in one go and hold the phone, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it in stages. Okay, well, here we are. So hold that one down and I press that, the start button, and as you'll see, it's flashing. Now I set it to kilometres, it's going to change back to miles per hour. And I keep them down, keep holding, and then it stops. Then let go. Now I had a lot of fiddling around because initially I was trying to do this by letting go of one of the buttons, and you can't do that. Also, you'll notice if you press this one first, you'll zero your mileage on the trip. I don't know if you can see that. I don't think you can. I'll just show you. So as you can see, I've zeroed the mileage on the trip. Now the thing is that we couldn't find very many descriptions. In fact, I couldn't find any description of this system of changing it when we went to Ireland, and the only one I could find was on something like a Clio or something like that, but nothing on the Renault Zoe. Anyhow, unbeknown to the the chap in the previous part of this video, since the beginning of this video, we took it for its first service, and while we were there we decided to get the dealer to have a look at the app. We explained that the app wasn't showing the battery state, the app on the phone, that is, wasn't showing the battery state. Unfortunately, it had been like this for a few months and it didn't really bother us too much. We don't use it very often, but when we do use it, it's really quite handy. Anyway, we decided to ask them to do something, see if they could do something, and they reset it. They reset the car. And I tried downloading the app again and all that sort of thing, putting in the username and password and doing it all over again, but that didn't work. So we decided it must have something to do with the car not being able to communicate. So after resetting the car, we had a few other problems, and that turned out to be a little bit more of an issue than we thought, because the charge scheduler packed in working. It's greyed out, and I'll just show you what that looks like at the moment. So here we are, vehicle, electric vehicle, charge scheduler, and as you can see, nothing. So we're going to have to use this again. Don't charge until. Right, well, what they told us to do was go to services, go to settings, go to data settings, and instead of answering yes, answer no, and then continue, and then back out, and then settings again, and then data settings, and then yes, and then that's it. And then open the car door, get out, leave it for 5 minutes, and then come back to it again, and it should reconnect and your app should work and everything should be absolutely fine and you should be a happy bunny. Unfortunately, it didn't work. So this is the next thing that they asked us to try. Go to the system settings, scroll to system information, status, and network status, and what they said was, is this screen flashing on and off intermittently or whatever? And as you can see, no, it isn't. So that was a no-goer, and we had to report that that were no. We also checked the version information and the serial numbers, application, and all the rest of it. So that all those details are correct, and it is the up-to-date version. Anyhow, that's just about it. I'll hand you back to me, and he'll carry on with the rest of the video. Apologise for the rest of the video, it didn't turn out as good as I wanted it to. I had a few problems that day, but however, there you go. Hello again. Right, I'm back. So I hope that cleared up the issue, and now I've just dropped the wife off at the MacArthur Glen East Midlands outlet, and I'm going to nip down to Old Fritton. For people who have seen my previous videos, they'll know why I'm nipping down to Old Fritton, to Neville's. And right, any other things that I need to tell you about? Right, the charge scheduler, whatever, appears since the update to be working quite well, and we seem to be okay. It had one tiny issue. It didn't want to behave itself on one occasion, but after that everything seemed okay, so we're up and running. That seems all right. Anything else? Oh yeah, it's coming up for its first service, as you can see from the next little clip right there, and that's about all there is to say about it. Right, I did send off for the, I'll just get it and reach it. Oh, quite get it. Oh, got it. To Nottingham ultra low emission vehicle. I got the sticker, which is a little bit big for the screen, but I've got one in the back as well, and I'll be explaining that on the way. So I'll just put that back, and I'll set sail. Sticker you can get to show that your car is an ultra low emission vehicle, and in Nottingham you're allowed to drive in one of the bus lanes at the moment. There's only one bus lane at the moment that they're doing, and that's the Daleside Road bus lane in Nottingham. Got a new bracket. I'll have to apologise for the wobbly video. rough roads, and this bracket, which is not too brilliant, is causing some trouble. But anyway, just the one bus lane at the moment, and it's marked with a big green ULEV in the same design as the sticker I've just showed you, so that should suffice as to using that lane. I'd like to say thanks to the Plug Seeker on Twitter. I thought I'd give him a mention. He's at the moment, he's got a YouTube channel that his latest video, or at this time his latest video, is on PodPoint network and their charging system and the company, and it's very interesting, so just thought I'd mention it. There'll be a link in the description. I'll put a link down in the description for anybody who's interested in that. Okay, right, the temperature is, well, let's put it this way, it's not a heat wave anymore. So what we've got is a little bit less on the estimated range when you charge it. Saying that, it's not all that bad. We're still getting around about the 200 mile mark on the estimated range. I think we'll probably do a bit more than that anyway, depending on road conditions. As you know, that is estimated, it's not an exact figure, so nobody should take that as an exact figure. It isn't a fuel gauge, and in no way should you think that that's what you're going to get. It does vary quite a bit as you drive. I think enough's been said about range and all the rest of it with this car. It's got a decent range, it'll do what you need it to do, and if you need to go further, use one of the public chargers. There are plenty now around. In fact, I've heard that there's more public chargers than petrol stations. The majority of them's all been iced. Right, well, with regard to the situation as far as icing's concerned, which is the parking of fossil fuel vehicles in charge bays, usually because people are basically not understanding that that is a refueling station for electric vehicles. And yeah, you have to put it as plain as that, because people just don't seem to realise it and think it's just another parking spot. As regards to that, it just seems to be getting worse, and I think we're going to have some kind of either legislation or a specific type of signage that can be put in the highway code, or bring to people's awareness that this is really important. Now, it might not be as important for people who have a FEV or some other type of vehicle that's got electric propulsion but also uses petrol, but they've got an option. Also, the other thing is, people who park in charge bays but don't charge are just as bad. Anyway, that's my rant on that subject over with. I'm nearly at my destination, and I'll say bye for now. Just got to negotiate a little bit of traffic, and on that note, it's bye for now.